When in your life has everybody thought you were the bad guy, but you weren't? When I stopped to say yes for everything that my family and relatives asked me. I'm going through it right now. A guy at my last job hated my guts. I got on really well with everyone else, but he managed to turn everyone against me just before I left. No one will even tell me what I'm supposed to have done wrong. Just blocked and stonewalled by all these people I thought were my friends. Now they're still friends with him, despite the fact they all used to say they knew he was a bully. So yeah, that sucks. Old job. I was a supervisor at a small manufacturing plant. It was a very toxic work environment. A lot of people had an axe to grind with management, the company, each other, etc. We had high turnover at all levels. I tried to reduce turnover on my shift by being decent to people. I didn't beat them up over little mistakes. I encouraged feedback about what I can do better for the team. When we worked over the weekends, I would buy everyone lunch and pay out of pocket. I had some success. By a tiny margin, my shift has less turnover than the other two. Can't run the equipment without employees after all. When I was fired, I was told it was due to concerns that I would retaliate against employees. I asked for an example of when I had done that and they admitted they had none. My boss wasn't involved in the decision and called me later to apologize. I was the least of that place's problems. When I reported the sexual assault I experienced as a child. When I cut off my mom, she was a covert narcissist, and I just couldn't handle her anymore. Not if I wanted to be a good wife and mother myself, so I chose to go no contact and am currently on extremely low contact, as in one text message thread per year. She's a very saccharine woman, though perfectly sweet in public aside from a few Karen behaviors, and behind closed doors she's ruthless. From the outside, I look like a petty daughter who got married and deprived her of her grandchildren. During divorce, I chose not to say all the things she had said and done to me. That was private. She came up with every little thing she could. I lost friends because of it, but honestly, I'd rather lose people than keep anyone who'd think I'd ever do the things she said. My daughter was essayed by a family member and I reported to the police. Now none of my family talks to me because it's too difficult for them. And they still talk to him. I will stand by my choice till the day I die. Currently, my mom has financially ruined myself and other members of the family, but she's a Jehovah's Witness, whereas I am a dirty apostate. I assume I am the general villain of my abusive ex-wife's life to everyone she knows, and that my name has been dragged as low as possible whenever relevant. She tried to smear my name to my own family before I had a chance to talk to them when we split up. I changed schools my sophomore year of high school. Right before this, a buddy and I were riding bikes together. I went over the handlebars and got a nasty scar over my nose. So now I have this scar on my nose the first day of school. I am by no means a social butterfly, so after changing schools, it took a lot of effort to open up. It wasn't until a few years had gone by that I made any real friends. I later found out some girls were intimidated by the scar and assumed I got in a lot of fights. So they told the whole school that, and they all steered clear of me for years. That was a really depressing time in my life. People suck. When I called CPS, one of the guys in my friends group started dating this girl. At first, she seemed cool. We were even friends, I thought. Then one day she launched an all-out smear campaign against me and managed to convince about 90 of our friends' circle that I was sleeping with their husbands. I was not. I was actually married myself at the time, but to this day there's a group of women who think I'm the devil. When my cousin was around, I was the bad one. When I divorced, I was the bad one. They fam eventually realized their mistake. Unfortunately, much too late to undo the damage. My partner has a blood pressure disorder. They will just fucking faint. I got pretty good at catching them. One day I caught them before we went to autism support group dinner. But it was like catch them badly by the arm or they slam head first into a coffee table, right? Anyway, at the dinner, I go off to the toilet. Everyone is asking my partner, "Are you okay? Is Badger being good to you?" Pointing at the very clear handprint bruise. Anyway, later my partner goes to the bathroom. Gets halfway across the restaurant and stops and sways. I jump up. Rush across and coincidentally, could only grab an arm to lower them to the ground gently. All's well and good, everyone saw. Partner comes back from the bathroom giggling. Matching handprint bruise. Everyone was much nicer to me after that. When me and my ex split, we have a son together whom I drive 3 hours each way to see on the weekends. I'm lucky enough to have him. I love him to death and would do anything for him. She has convinced all of my friends, family, and everyone else in her life and whom we were mutually friendly that I am a deadbeat who does nothing as a father, that I physically abused her, that I continue to be the one who isn't willing to co-parent, etc. All I care about is my son and his well-being. I couldn't give a shit less about her personal grudges against me, but it hurts my son for me to be kept out of his life because of it. Ex spread rumors about me burning a bunch of my friendships. It's been 7 years and only now people are starting to see maybe I didn't do any of that stuff. Left my first girlfriend of 4 years. She was emotionally checked out and there was resentment building between us. She would never say she wanted it to end, but it was obviously no longer healthy and we wanted different things. I ended it, so I was the bad guy. But sometimes you just have to do what you know is right. My ex used to accuse me of beating her and would tell everyone we knew that I would hit her every other day. In reality, she was a serial liar, cheater, racked up thousands in debt under my name and stopped me seeing my son for months on end. I was always really quiet and never stood up for myself, and when I finally had enough, that's when the beating stories would start, or if I disagreed with her she would ring the police and say I was making threats, etc. It went on for years, even had supervised visits with my son because of it with court officials. I was lucky to come out the other side, but eventually the cracks started to show when she did the same thing to 2 other men after me and she got caught in the lie. Even ended up in trouble with the courts when it all finally unraveled. It took a long time and I lost a lot of friends over it. Seeing her get what she deserved was a good feeling, but it still plays on my mind every day. Me 34 am confronting my 70-year uncle at a family gathering when he was being a racist, tassel. Family telling me to let it go, drop it whilst he gets to say whatever he wants. He then tells me straight to my face he doesn't respect my opinions. I then refuse to ever go to a family gathering with him there. I'm the bad guy and troublemaker. Had a falling out with a friend roommate. When we went our separate he accused me of stealing his lawn furniture. We both had similar sets and he thought I took the wrong one. Both were the green painted wire mesh type. Blasted me to our entire circle of friends, stole the lawn furniture from my new place, so now he has both and I have none. I took the high road and ignored the drama. The group of friends assumed my silence was an admission of guilt and put me on the outs. Over supposedly taking the wrong table and chair set. I do not miss them.